This is day 3 of the Gamma Perspective, which is a essential factor towards reprogramming your inner narrative. What it's doing is that it's a cognitive shift and consciously being aware of your thoughts. Once you're aware of your thoughts, you will engage in a freestyle form of speaking, which is a vote to your deeply suppressed desires. I'm trying to get people to reframe their mind and their cognitive ability, and everybody has the ability and the access to that based off of these modern day tools that can help optimize regions of the brain that we don't normally use on a daily basis. For instance, how many times do you hear, oh, I would like to enhance the prefrontal cortex, which is the region of planning, judgment, organization, or you could say the limbic system, where it's held oxytocin facilitates maternal behavior. If we just cognitively focus on these areas of our brain to enhance our ability in thinking, clarity, confidence, why not do it by simply applying this method, Gamma Perspective, to your daily life? Once you create this and make it a habit, your vocabulary, your confidence will boost, because you're not only changing yourself in a physical form, you changing biological state of mind, because the thoughts you have on a constant basis reconstruct your genetic makeup, and this is going to cultivate cultures and change lineages based off of your thought process. I want people to optimize their mind and enhance their clarity and thinking by utilizing Gamma Perspective in this modern day society where there's a mass abundance of sensory information, which is visualization do from the social media intake. What that's doing is it's changing people's attention span. You're watching videos on a short-term basis and you're trying to receive instant gratification. If it doesn't satisfy you, you immediately swipe it. What that's doing is training your mind over a period of time. If something doesn't give you immediate instant gratification, you will leave that and you abandon ship. Now you're abandoning ship, and that's taking up space for other people, other thoughts, other creativity, because you're leaving it there idle in your mind. I'm trying to help people optimize their mind utilizing Gamma Perspective to reach regions in your brain and optimize them. So when you meet people on a daily basis and you have a different mind frame and perspective of reality, you will alter theirs, because they will be able to see based off your inner narrative that you're not the same person. I was not the same person growing up. I came across Gamma Perspective because I always loved rapping. I love to engage in that method of freestyle thinking. But now this freestyle form of thinking is going to help overcome and cultivate cultures. You never know what type of great ideas and new creativity you can help and bring towards your community. You never know if you have new ideas for medicine, in technology, finances, relationship, even personal growth by in elaborating on topics that you normally don't do on a daily basis. Whatever you want to talk about, do it. 2 to 3 minutes, record that audio. Once you have that audio, you simply copy and paste that into ChatGPT, or you could simply bypass all that with notes and utilize ChatGPT as the primary source of Gamma Perspective, because you could record your audio and then simply ask it, can you rewrite this in an articulate professional manner right there in projects and ChatGPT. I'm trying to utilize this modern day advanced technology simply like when you open up the phone and you go on any app. I'm trying to get you accustomed to doing this so simple that it'll become a habit. So now you're optimizing your mind in regions, because you gotta realize you have a baseline individual and an above average individual based off of their thoughts. Would you request of the mind? Your mind will follow. It's the simplicity of it. You have mirror neurons. The people you talk to on a daily basis, what your mind sees, you replicate. That's why certain individuals that was raised in households of doctors, they want to be a nurse or a doctor, or somebody was in the military, they joined the military, or somebody, a figure loves something, they're really passionate about something, they will eventually, the people around them will grasp that and they will start participating in that, because what you see on a daily basis reinforces a mentality in you. So now people see you doing gamma perspective, and it's optimizing your mind, enhancing cognitive ability, restructuring your mind frame and the way you look at things and the way your outlook is on life. Compare that to a regular day. Like, let's say for instance, basic decisions will be easier because you have a more organized and structured thought process by the in-depth reshaping of your mind. Gamma perspective utilizes brainwave frequencies in at a heightened state, and then you will listen to it in a recorded audio with this refined transcript, which has immense knowledge and billions of articles at the how can you say, at the availability in your hands. You basically have access in the tip of your fingers. I would like to enhance the mind frame because I came across this book called Super Brain, which had immense in-depth knowledge of people's mind frame when they optimize it. And I always had this innate desire to optimize my mind because I felt like, man, I could be a different individual if I just work on these regions. Because I started exposing myself to certain knowledge. I'm no neuroscience, but this area and this field is so beautiful because it can help optimize humans and help evolve nature and in society by refining your thought process, because a lot of people is depressed and held back within the restrictions of their own mind, and you don't have to be like that. You could talk about whatever it is you want to talk about: finance, relationships, culture, sports, cars, technology, clothes, fashion, music, whatever you have that's deeply inside. Bring it to attention and refine it with this mental loop of enhancing and having more clarity based off of the visualization and audio, which is neural coherence. And you're doing this in a daily practice, which you could simply do in 2 to 3 minutes, the most 10 minutes. Record it, place it into ChatGPT, refine it, and reread it while you're recording it. So now you can have these days, the gamma perspective, day 1, 2, 3, 4, and while you're driving, you're in the shower, you're working out, you're cooking, you listen to this refined audio, and what that's doing is activating regions, and it's teaching you about yourself, what you deeply have within. And I'm trying to cultivate cultures and enhance the in-depth thoughts of society and becoming a, how can I say, a conscious ecosystem to grow together. I want people to leave positive comments, positive feedback, because this is the time where we grow together as humans. In nature, the Neanderthals, they taught by and evolved through communication, the first humans in civilization, and then through time people evolved by communicating and showing different tools of how it is used. That's the difference between humans and animals. We have the ability to conversate and explain and teach. You could teach others. The reason in this modern day society a lot of people is held back and they're in middle class, or they just in a middle class thought mentality, because people feel like, man, I don't want to engage in this because I'm not gonna learn. Everybody is unique in creation. If you learn something you didn't know based off your prior experiences, where that knowledge could lead you. Some people don't want to learn because they compare themselves to other people. Man, it's going to take me too long to learn this topic. That's a myth and a misconception with the 10,000 hour rule. The 10,000 hour rule is for expertise level, the ultimate competitors. Now if you expose yourself to something on a daily basis, what you're going to do is learn it, because neurons that fire together wire together. At first it's going to be a really gross incompetence because it's going to feel like you don't understand, but the more you expose yourself to something, you have axons and dendrites that connect and they build bridges. Like from going to the Bronx to Brooklyn, it wasn't built overnight. The more exposure you receive, you're cognitively getting aware, and then you're enhancing regions of your mind. Now I'm trying to enhance regions of our mind where we could consciously reprogram our subconscious mind, which is a difficult area to enter in based off of pure will. But the repetition and knowledge of a certain topic, you'll be able to do it simply with the snap of your fingers. Gamma perspective was given to me in a life's journey of finding out a mental reprogramming loop. I never thought I would have had the mental capacity to speak at such volumes of intense intelligence and understand different podcasts, understand TED Talks, understand things to an immense level, and understand it to the way where I can essentially, how can I say, teach it or describe it. You just learning 20% of something will allow you to learn something in a low, minute level, but you're understanding more than the majority of people. I'm trying to help people become above average and optimize their mind frame. Stop with the baseline thoughts. If you engage in something that you're not proud of, just understand that growth is linear. It's not just one straight line. It's ups and downs in order to learn and keep a balance and ultimately grow. Gamma perspective. All right, now we're gonna optimize that recording by simply turning it into a transcript. Save it. Once you turn this into a transcript, it will be in Word formation. Copy and paste that and insert that into ChatGPT. I'm telling you, this may seem repetitive and boring, but I guarantee you, if you use this modern day advanced technology to your advantage, you will be above average. Refine Gamma perspective message because it already has the projects for me. Okay. All right. Appreciate this for joining me on this journey. Because this is the only way you're going to grow. And once you start seeing the results and how easy it is, you will be so amazed and flabbergasted about the simplicity of growth. It's just that you have to find comfort and joy in growth and make it fun. Find humor in this because this is in depth. This will reach regions of your brain that you don't normally access on a daily basis. And once you have the capacity to reach those regions, you're going to be so flabbergasted and proud of yourself. It's going to change you in ways that you never thought you was capable of reaching. I'm telling you. And it's just the simplicity of doing this in the time period it takes to make a habit, which is what? 21 days, 60 days? But you're going to optimize your mind and be above average. Why wouldn't anybody want to do that? This is the refined version. In today's modern society, we are constantly exposed to an overwhelming amount of sensory information, primarily through social media. This continuous stream of short-term content is gradually reshaping our attention spans. We are being conditioned to seek instant gratification, where if something does not immediately stimulate us, we disengage and move on. Over time, this pattern trains the mind to abandon depth for speed. We begin to abandon ship on ideas, conversations, and even our own creativity simply because they do not provide immediate reward. This leaves unused mental space that could have been developed into innovation, insight, or personal growth. This is where Gamma perspective comes in. Gamma perspective is a method of mental optimization that encourages individuals to tap into deeper levels of thought through intentional expression. By speaking freely, capturing your unfiltered ideas, insights, and inner dialogue, you begin activating higher levels of cognitive processing. The practice is simple. Take 2 to 3 minutes, up to 10 minutes to record your thoughts. Speak freely about any topic, life, finance, relationships, creativity, purpose. Upload or paste that recording into ChatGPT or a similar tool. Refine it into a clear, structured, and professional message. Re-record and listen back to your refined thoughts daily. This creates a powerful feedback loop. Expression, repetition, internalization over time. This process enhances clarity strengthens your inner narrative, and restructures how you think. Your thoughts begin to organize themselves, your decisions become more intentional, your perspective becomes more refined, and when you interact with others, they notice. Not because you are trying to be different, but because your internal framework has changed. Humans begin naturally mirror their environment. Through mechanisms like observational learning and social reinforcement, we adopt the behaviors, beliefs, and ambitions of those around us. This is why our environment is so powerful. When you consistently operate from a higher level of awareness, you influence the mental standards of those around you, subtly shifting conversations, expectations, and possibility. This is how cultures evolve. Gamma perspective is not about perfection or expertise. It is about consistent exposure to deeper thinking. Many people avoid learning because they believe it takes too long to understand something. This is a misconception. Mastery may take time, but awareness begins immediately. Even limited exposure to a new idea can expand your thinking beyond the average baseline. With repetition, neural connections strengthen, and growth is not linear. It involves confusion, trial, and adjustment. But through consistent mental engagement, you begin to reprogram your internal patterns. And you begin to understand yourself. And once you understand yourself, you gain the ability to reshape your reality. We live in a time where knowledge is accessible at our fingertips. The tools are already in our hands. The opportunity now is to use them intentionally, not just for consumption, but for creation and transformation. Gamma perspective is a daily habit, a mental discipline, and a pathway toward becoming more conscious, articulate, and self-aware. It is not just about improving the individual, it's about elevating collective thought. Because when individuals grow, cultures shift. And when cultures shift, society evolves. Gamma perspective, day 3.